Hello, my name is Douglas Bloch. I'm an author and mental health educator. Welcome to your Depression Recovery channel, where each week we talk about practical tools and coping strategies for healing from depression and anxiety. The title of today's video is called Microdosing Psilocybin. One of my videographers said this is Mushroom Day. Before we get on with the video, we have to tell our joke. And polishing mirrors is something I could see myself doing. All right, so the title of today's video is Microdosing Psilocybin. And in the last video I did, which was shown a couple of weeks ago, I talked about the ongoing research into using psilocybin as a treatment for anxiety, depression, PTSD, helping cancer patients overcome the fear of death. This is going on in a lot of respected institutions around the country, like Harvard, Yale, Johns Hopkins University, also overseas at Oxford. But there's another way that people are using psilocybin to help with their mood, and that's called microdosing. Now, before I go any further, I want to make it clear that I am not promoting microdosing, and neither am I trying to diagnose or treat any condition. I'm just reporting on something that's going on right now in the world, that's relevant to this channel, which is depression recovery. So what exactly is microdosing? Well, I found a really good definition given by David Olson, who is assistant professor at University of California, Davis, and this is what he said. An increasingly popular trend in recent years has been self-administering small doses of psychedelic drugs, such as LSD or magic mushrooms, as an attempt to improve mental health. This is known as microdosing. Psychedelic drugs elicit hallucinations, intensified emotions, and changes in sensory feedback when taken at full doses. But when taken in smaller amounts, approximately 1/10 of a full dose, those drugs are thought by some to be linked to improved mood and energy, reduced anxiety, better focus, and enhanced creativity. Now here's a little bit simpler definition of what microdosing is or how it works. A supervisor of mine from many years ago in a job sent me a text just the other day. He said, I'm in 3.5 hours into a microdose experience. I'm walking in the woods. Life is beautiful. So the idea is, you have the change in perception, you have the change in mood, the change in visual perception, but it's much, much subtler and doesn't throw you off and exhaust you and completely disorient you. So that's why microdosing is so popular. Here's a YouTube fan who voluntarily wrote about his experience. He wanted me to do this video, and I'll just read some of the things he says. He says, what microdosing does for me is it evens out my moods and energy. I'm more motivation to work on meaningful projects. I feel more creative. I have an uptick in confidence. I'm able to focus for longer periods of time. I have better verbal skills in conversations. And I have just a greater feeling of connectedness with people, and I have more empathy in relationships. Recently, a local Portland herbalist shared with me his theory about how psilocybin microdosing might work. He says that plant medicine opens up energy channels. When I hear that, I think of acupuncture, because when you have an acupuncture treatment, you have needles in certain points in the meridians that supposedly unlock stuck qi. Qi is like energy flow in the body. So the idea of acupuncture is to take places where the qi is blocked and let it flow. And when I come out of an acupuncture session, I feel relaxed, clear, sense of well-being, very similar to what people who microdose report. Now, right now, as I said in my last video, there are 40 institutions in the US alone that are doing major clinical trials using psilocybin as a way to treat anxiety and depression. And people indeed often have profound experiences. However, sometimes when you come down from this trip, like coming back from a long vacation where you had a great time, then you're back into your regular life, right? And how do you integrate these profound experiences? You might say, well, I still don't like my job, even though I had a great trip. So the way that microdosing works is it produces subtle changes in perception that are much easier to integrate into your consciousness. This reminds me of how psychotherapy works. You have insights, small insights over a period of time, and that ultimately produces change in behavior and feelings. So sometimes instead of having this great revelation, and then you're back and down to reality, small changes over a period of time might in fact produce better results. Even though psilocybin research is coming up with promising results, it still hasn't been integrated into conventional psychological treatment. And this means that most people who are doing microdosing are doing it on their own or with their community. This, however, does present a risk because even though the changes that microdosing produces are very subtle, for some sensitive individuals, it may have a reaction that's not anticipated. Now, I did read a study at the University of British Columbia that said people who tend to have mania should probably avoid microdosing because of the fact that this elevation in mood can lead to mania, which is too high a mood. And of course, what goes up must come down. So if you have any history of a mental health disorder, you're thinking of microdosing, you should definitely let your prescriber or your therapist know about it. And another cautionary note is that when you have a non-standardized substance, like psilocybin, you can't really tell a precise dosage of what you're getting. So I said earlier, microdosing involves a 1/10 of normal dose. Some people think it's a 40th, and how do you know what a 1/10 and a 40th is? So you're kind of in gray territory. While the effects of psilocybin on mood in the treatment of anxiety and depression is being heavily researched in major academic institutions, microdosing is not. However, there is some research being done on it, and if you're interested in following that, I recommend the following organization. It's called MAPS, which stands for Multidisciplinary Association for Psychedelic Studies. Go to their website. They do have really good research studies there, and good way to inform yourself. This has been Douglas Bloch. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was informative. If you did like it, give it a like, or you can write your comments in the comments section. If you want to directly contact me, you can do so, douglasbloch@gmail.com. If you want to subscribe to this channel, bring us closer to 100,000 subscribers, my ultimate goal, you can go ahead and click on my photo in the closing credits. You'll be taken to the subscribe page, and you can click on the bell upper right corner, and you'll be notified every time I do a video or a live chat. And if you want to become a sustaining member of this channel for as little as $2 a month, you can go to my crowdfunding page, Patreon. Click on the Patreon logo, and you'll be taken there. And until we meet again, I wish you the best in your mental health recovery. Thank you so much for watching.